Hey everyone, it's Gianna at Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news on crypto and blockchain technology. Today, we have a very special guest on our show. We have Nate from Olympus Insights. He's the co-founder. If you want to wave at the camera, you can. And where are you calling in from, Nate?
Hey, good morning, Gianna. Calling in today from Perth, Western Australia. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, probably the other side of the planet, just about to where you are, I guess.
Yeah. I'm in New York City,
But
so yeah, it's
yeah, so 12 hours opposite, so it's nice and early, 6:30 a.m. here,
oh my
but it's been
goodness.
a bit of a sleep in after having a few 3:30 a.m. meetings this week.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with our community here. So I want to know first, the first question I want to ask you is how did you first get into the blockchain space and how was Olympus Insights born? Did you have any skepticism even when you were first getting into a project like this?
So my journey into like entering the crypto space was a bit of an interesting one. It actually started at my bachelor party just before my wedding. One of my friends was trying to pay for the drinks and the entertainment for the evening using Bitcoin. And it got all of us guys thinking like, man, what is going on? Like, what is this thing? How he's like, yeah, I put a bit of money into this thing. All of a sudden it's pumping. It's pretty exciting. We're like, is it stocks? Like, what is it? How does it work? And that's where our journey really got begun. A lot of us there decided, I will, this thing XRP is pumping. It was, I think, almost at the all-time high at that point, and we're like, yeah, let's ape in. This is gonna like pay for our houses and everything. And then pretty soon after, it went the complete opposite direction, and we had a bit of a reality shock. So then spent the next couple of years just doing little bits of research here and there. And then the school that I work at, my learning manager, learning area manager, he was a big Cardano fan. And he was telling me about a lot of the stuff that Cardano's hoping to achieve. And he'd made like a substantial investment, I think it was around 2019, 2020. And he'd had a lot of success with that. And yeah, so I sort of started diving into the Cardano ecosystem, learning a bit about it. Around that time, we are sort of getting into that next bull market. NFTs sort of was coming onto the Cardano scene. And yeah, watched the Charles whiteboard video and was really getting this appreciation for, hey, this isn't just about a token and price go up. There's so much more happening here. There's a whole community of vibrant people that are like educated on the space, want to make some real change and some real impact around the world. There's this concept of like governance coming in
Hmm.
and yeah, just sort of really getting that understanding of all those principles. And that's really where we dove into it. As far as where did the platform start? During the pandemic period, 'cause I'm a school teacher, I've been teaching for nearly 10 years now, math, science, health, and physical education. We had to find ways of engaging students with online learning when they could be at home playing on their Xbox or PlayStation or whatever it might be, where a lot of them weren't too interested in my algebra lessons. And I was like, well, what are we going to use for this time being? Is this the best solution? I think we had some good solutions, but not necessarily the best. And then because those things are all happening side by side, like a bull market where there's this interest in crypto, this online learning's happening. All these people are saying, "Oh, what is a Bitcoin? How do I get involved? How do I do this? How do I do that?" And I was like, "Well, online learning, student education, crypto, where do people really go for this? I don't think there's necessarily a perfect place. Let's build that place." And that's where Olympus Insight sort of conceptualized from.
Very cool. So you came really from an education background and then you wanted to apply blockchain technology to that. Huh. Yeah, a lot of folks come into Cardano, like they get reeled in through Charles's whiteboard video, but it's so interesting. Like, what's your like first origin story? How did you first get into crypto in general? And people tell me all kinds of things. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing how you first got into it and like the skepticism of you and your friends. Like, what is this brand new thing? Is there even potential in this? Yeah, so can you explain a little bit more about what Olympus Insights is and what's its real world use case? What's the problem that's trying to solve?
Yeah, for sure. So Olympus Insights is the overarching company or a software as a service company, and the product that we're offering in our solution is called the Ollie Education Platform. The problem we see is a lack of educational resources, a massive amount of a lack of financial understanding, a lack of Web3 understanding. People are sort of saying, why am I going backwards even though I got a pay rise, not understanding the way that money's changing with inflation, with money printing, and not understanding the benefit of fixed supply assets. But
Mhm.
then also the global accessibility issues around education. So education is becoming more and more expensive, especially if you want to go to a college or a university. Education is becoming harder and harder to access if you're not in a situation where you can necessarily afford to it or get access to it for whatever reasons. So we wanted to build a platform that can provide educational resources that are high quality, linked to real world jobs and skills to people all around the world with zero barrier to entry. And then we also wanted to couple with that gamification to make it more fun and, like, I guess, addictive, and a learn to earn mechanism. So people are actually getting rewarded for investing their time into their learning experience. So the whole idea here is that we can create as much educational empowerment and financial opportunity for people all around the world.
Yeah, I'm definitely a proponent for accessible education. Can you explain a little bit more for people what's the importance of a decentralized education platform? Why is it so important that it's on Web3 and yeah, that you're using Cardano?
Yeah, cool. So there's a number of things that we're accessing here. So one thing about decentralizing education is really putting the education in the hands of the student. So they're
Mhm.
not stuck in a classroom learning about things that they don't necessarily want to learn about. They can really take their own motivation, their own goals into consideration and say, well, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. How do I get there? So we've linked that all in with competency frameworks. So we've actually given that opportunity to students where they can link that to recognition of prior learning if they are a university or college student, or
Mm.
also linking that to real world jobs. Why is this beneficial putting it on chain? So things like certification, so linking that with decentralized or self-sovereign identities, so people can literally take their courses and their credentials with them anywhere they go with the comfort of their crypto wallet or their platform for their DID. We know in a lot of the developing nations that we're working with, maintaining these transcripts and things like that can be a lot harder. So by putting this into like a digital system, a decentralized and like secure and sustainable system like Cardano, we know that these all of these academic resources and credentials that they're developing will be secure and they can keep them safe and long term. Also, we're building with our platform. So as soon as you create an account to Ollie, you automatically get a Cardano wallet. So you don't have to go through that whole difficult learning process. What's a seed phrase? How do I get this thing set up? How does it all work? We just make that for you. So as you're learning and earning, you're accumulating your Ollie tokens. Then we train you on the platform. What is a crypto wallet? What is a seed phrase? How do I stay secure and safe in the space? How do I interact with a DEX or a marketplace? And then we also have courses, obviously, how to use your Ollie wallet to send that to one of your other wallets that we've trained you on how to create. So there's a whole suite of reasons why it wouldn't function as a Web2 system, like just in a traditional Web2 education platform. But in saying that, the goals here are to bring everyone from Web2 into Web3. We haven't said, oh, let's create a service like that's just for Web3 users to get more Web3 knowledge. This thing is all about onboarding. We've already got over 3,000 subscribers on the platform. So we've got an ambassador system that's set up. We've got a team in Nigeria, in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Gambia. They're all paid a full-time wage to literally go around spreading the word about Ollie, training people on how to use the platform and how to onboard their friends so they can all be learning, earning, and growing together.
That's great. And that's good to know you're already scaling up in countries around the world and in places that already really need it. So I want to ask you, what's the first word that you want people to think when they hear about Olympus Insights and why? Just one word,
Empowerment.
empowerment.
And why?
Oh,
Because
why?
things in the world are just getting harder and harder when it comes to finance and like finding a way to take control of your future. So we know the only way, regardless of what topic it is, the only way to take yourself forward in your field that you're trying to become an expert in or to engage in to make yourself money is through education. So we want to provide accessible education that keeps you coming back to learn more. But coupling that accessible education with a financial reward to also empower you to go and make some of these choices. So someone might complete a course, make $2, $5, whatever it might be, and then they can actually take that and spend that on a day-to-day item. If you're living in the US or Australia or UK, perhaps you'll go and buy yourself a coffee. If you're in a developing nation with that $5, that can actually go a long way. And really, that could pay for your week's groceries or your rent or something like that. So this is a particular reason why we've got our ambassadors stretching across like most of Africa to start with. We're going to Southeast Asia and South America. We're building relationships in India as we speak. And we're going to put this platform into the hands of not only people like I know my students will benefit from it, but
Mhm.
also we want to put it into the hands of people that it makes the biggest difference to right around the world.
Yeah, educational empowerment definitely is economic empowerment as well. And on our show, we're very big on projects that promote economic empowerment. I think that's the biggest thing that crypto will provide. So I want to talk a little bit more about the Ollie token. I know you mentioned that. What are the use cases right now? What are the mechanisms? And yeah, what are the benefits for people right now for that?
Yeah, awesome. So the Ollie token right now is we're in the build-up phase to our token generation event. This is going to take place in mid-December. So keep an eye on our socials to see more details about when that's all going to go live. But yeah, so essentially on the platform at the moment, people are building up a base of experience points. They convert that experience points into Ollie, and then they can use it for any of the various utilities. So that's all done through smart contracts and swaps. So shout out to Thad, who's building all of that for us from the Wild Teams. So the use cases for Ollie. So with our platform, 80 to 90% of the content is and will always be free. But with content creators, there's also the opportunity that they can put paid content on the platform. You might
Hmm.
want to make a course about DeFi, for example. If you put it out there for free, we as a company will pay you in Ollie tokens. If you put it out there for like a price, like maybe $10, then obviously the customer will be paying you for that. So it's a different sort of relationship there. But the customer can actually use their Ollie tokens to pay for the paid content and get a discounted rate. But also they can use their Ollie tokens to get a subscription, which will get them a greater amount of access to that paid content as well. So with no subscription, they could just pay one to one. Like say it's $10, you pay $10 worth of Ollie. Um, if they get a subscription for $4.95 a month, for example, they get access to $20 worth of content. So
Huh.
they can use their token to get a massive amount of discount and more access to some of that I guess paid content or premium content if you want to call it that. There'll also be like some merchandise stores and things like that that we're going to do along the way that you'll get benefits from using the Ollie token. We've got a DAO, so we will have a DAO for progressing the business in the future and how the platform develops. So we use the Ollie token for all of our governance within the ecosystem. And yeah, there's so much more. It's all in our light paper.
Cool.
But we're trying to make the Ollie token have as much utility for not only our people earning and learning on the platform, but also ways of using it within the ecosystem with our partners as well.
Awesome. I might be interested in submitting a course in the future for it. A friend and I developed a climate education curriculum, so environmental education and how people can take action. So yeah, if that's something that would work on your platform, I would love to share that with you in the future. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. So we've obviously started the platform with a heavy focus on finance and Web3 and
Yeah.
sort of ecosystem. Excuse me. But we'll be expanding that right across the depth of education. So climate education, fantastic thing to put onto the platform. But we've also got opportunities for people that might be, let's say you're a carpenter and you want to make
Hmm.
a course about how to make a table. Put
Hmm.
that on the platform. This way you can get access to all of our learners and they can learn about what you're doing and your business and everything like
Nice. So I just want to ask you, how are you committing right now
that.
to environmental sustainability, or do you have other plans to be more sustainable, more environmentally friendly as a company?
Yeah, cool. So obviously building on the Cardano blockchain is one part of
Mhm.
sustainability there. It's all proof of stake, no mining and things like that. But a big thing that we're looking at with our schools platform and a big part that we're marketing towards the schools and even the businesses is the ability to digitize all of the paper. Okay. So I was having a performance management with my line manager yesterday, and he was talking about, all right, so tell me more about this Ollie platform that you've built. What's the benefit of that for us as a school? How does this all go? So I just grab some water. And um, so I was saying, well, you know how at the start of every year we print off all of these books for the students that are 150 pages, and as a teacher, you've got 150 students, so 150 page book for 150 students across 6 different year levels. We're pumping all of this paper out, which is terrible, really. And then the students don't even necessarily write on every single page. Like obviously, the more diligent students will use every page, but it's high school, so you've got people on the complete ends of the spectrum, right? So there's a lot of wastage there. Even our tests that we're using, where I pump out a 10-page test to give to the students or an assignment, whatever it might be. And there's just so much like paper that is going to waste that just gets chucked out at the end of the year. With Ollie, we can digitize all of these systems, which not only helps from that paper and environmentally side of things, but it also is going to help streamline the teacher's job. Because school teachers, I'm sure everyone has a teacher friend that complains about how much marking there is, how much planning there is, and all the rest of it. We're going to streamline those processes. So you can literally teach your lesson on the day using the Ollie platform, get instant feedback from the assessment on the platform. That'll be in a nice spreadsheet so you can see all of your students, how they went in that assessment. Bang, like within a matter of seconds, you've got feedback on the whole way that your class performed that day. So another sustainability thing there is helping teachers to stay in the job by reducing their workload. They can do that with tests because you can have multiple choice, fill in the blank, short answer, long answer, all of these sorts of things. And then that's just the school platform. We've also obviously got that learn to earn platform. We've got the business platform where you get all of these same advantages. We can take stuff off paper, get it into a digital system. We can get it all stored on chain. So it's reliable, it's secure. Like, what more could you really want? So yeah, these are some of the stuff we don't even really talk about that much, but that's some of the stuff that really gets me excited. Um, there's just so many different angles to the positive social impact that this platform can have around the world.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, he's a middle school science teacher, and yeah, he's always like preparing and like having all these papers and things. So that'd be super helpful and streamline a teacher's life a lot more. Yeah. My next question for
Yeah.
you is I want to know what are your next steps for your project right now? And do you have any ideal collaborations that you're allowed to talk about on the show? That's, I guess, not top secret, but also if there's any impacts that you want to make in developing countries as well. I think our audience really wants to know about growth in developing countries.
Yeah, well, I'll start with that because that's probably, again, some of the most exciting stuff. I've probably said the word exciting too many times in this space, in this video. So, but the last 18 months has been such a transformative journey where things that we're doing today, I probably couldn't have even imagined 18 months ago. So we're in talks with the United Nations Development Program, in talks with UNICEF about ways that we can actually get this Ollie learn to earn platform into the hands of people that they're working with, the people that this can really make a difference for. So some of these people, obviously, from places that have had natural disasters, war, anything like that, where they could have been completely uprooted, lost their homes, lost all of their certifications, they can now get onto a system like Ollie and get all of that, like they can get all that information back. They can also start developing some finances by learning and earning on the platform. So not only have they gone from maybe losing so much, but we can now start to provide them with certification. We can start to provide them with some like finances to get them start getting themselves back on track. So that's a great opportunity. We're working with WADA, so that's a like they're working to do a lot of stuff in Africa and with Cardano for similar sorts of things. I mentioned our ambassador program, so we're literally creating jobs. We've got people paid on the ground in a number of countries already, and that's just going to continue to grow and develop. Partners within the ecosystem. I'm going to try and give you a nice list without giving anything away that I've that's still like being finalized. But it's always nice to give a little bit of alpha away in these YouTube interviews. Um, so where can I start there? Where can I start? I just got off of a call, but so a lot of our partners are within the Cardano ecosystem. So we're obviously working with Consensus already. I don't know how many of our partners you've had an opportunity to read. They're working with Ugandan refugees to provide education on blockchain. Um, they're doing some fantastic stuff. They're doing in-person training. So we're giving them a version of our Ollie for Business platform to help them scale their operation. So instead of delivering it to 10 people at once, they can deliver it to thousands. And instead of like just a small group at that refugee camp, they can train the whole refugee camp at once. So incredibly excited about that. We're working with Tokyo Pay. So we talked about having Cardano wallets integrated so people are learning and earning and able to interact straight away. So those guys, have yeah, got a really solid relationship and partnership with them. Um, this one's probably a little bit alpha, but it keeps popping back to my mind when I'm trying to go through the list. So this is for you. So with book.io, we're actually about to release a partnership where obviously education and books go hand in hand. So they're creating DEAs, so digital encrypted assets, for people to read all around the world. And we're creating courses for people to do all around the world. So naturally, as they're producing books, we can produce courses, and this one goes into the traditional education system, but also just providing people opportunity to engage with something that they love, like reading, and get benefits from that. We're in talks with people like iohk around decentralizing our storage and compute. We've just made a massive partnership with the Jelly Cubes or Block Investment Group, which are helping us do a lot of our marketing. Tied in with that, we've got a relationship partnership with MinSwap. We're working with, if anyone's familiar with Ethereum, the Lazy Lions project is helping us do a bit of work as well with our community development. Um, there's so many things coming on. We're working with like Sapien, um, Fareed from Dapp Central, Pete from Learn Cardano, around creating courses because we want to make sure that we're getting as much quality educational content onto the platform. I feel like I need to get all this stuff written down in front of me because there's so many people that I feel like I'm missing, and someone's probably going to send me a DM after watching this and be like, "Mate, where was the mention?" But yeah, there's just so many things going on. Yeah.
Well, congrats on all those collabs that you have going on. Do you have any plans to expand to other blockchains as well? And are you in the works for that yet, or are you planning to stay mainly Cardano for now?
Yeah, so this is where it gets exciting. So education is blockchain agnostic.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter where you are in the world, what chain you're on, even if you're not on a chain. You just need to gain the knowledge. So we're working with people. We've got a meeting, I think, next week with Ben from the Algorand Foundation. We've got some relationships in Polkadot, Ethereum, and we're starting to move into a bunch of different chains to get content creators that have that expertise in that ecosystem to start putting information onto our platform because we want to be able to educate the whole world on all things blockchain and Web3, not just Cardano. Um, the token will always live on Cardano. So we've got the Cardano wallets that are interacting with the Cardano ecosystem, but we've got these new things popping up like Bitcoin OS. So people are going to have that back and forwards integration. I know Tokyo's working with Bitcoin, working with Doge and a few other things as well. And we've got people like the NuFi wallet that have developed the Ethereum MetaMask bridge and a few other things like that. So Cardano's interoperability and side chains are going to give people the opportunity to be learning and earning in a platform that's based on the Cardano blockchain, but then interacting with all sorts of different ecosystems. So it's really cool what can happen with that.
Awesome. Yeah, the more expansion and the more growth to get this accessible to more people, the better. So my last question for you is, how can our community get involved and how can we continue to help your project grow?
Yeah, great. So probably the easiest place if you go to our Twitter or Discord, because that's where you'll find all of our links. We've Linktree in both places where you can find the actual platform, our like Twitter, Discord, bunch of our YouTube interviews. So people will be able to find this one there very soon, as well as the light paper, and the various websites for each of our platforms, because we've got the three coming out. The website for the platform is app.ollie4education.io. That's a number four. It's probably harder to say, but we'll get the
We'll link
links
it
onto
down
this.
below. Yes.
So app.ollie4education.io. You can either find that in our Discord, Twitter, or down below. And yeah, get on board, start learning, start earning, join the community, say hi in Discord, say hi to us on Twitter, and yeah, we'll be very happy to have you and get your educational experience rolling.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Nate. And I'm really appreciative of projects like yours that are changing the world for good. So keep up the great work and I'll definitely link all your links down below so people can look it up, they can get involved, and they can help you continue to expand.
So yeah, thank you so much for having us, Gianna. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the work that you do and all the people that are putting out this valuable education around the whole Web3 ecosystem. Yeah, we can't thank you enough because people like you help us to develop our platform, get more education out there. As you mentioned, if you could get a course on our platform, that'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, we just want to say thank you again.
Of course, yeah, and I'm looking forward to collaborating more. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Well, that's it for us today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Feel free to share this with your friends if you enjoyed this content. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye. You too.